Good day, fellows. My name is Ethan, and I am your finance fellow. And I want to welcome you to the show. So today we're going to be discussing tax-free millionaires and how you can become one as well. So to begin with, what is a tax-free millionaire? This is someone who has money in their Roth IRA or Roth 401k or Roth 403b or some tax-free account structure that is at a liquid amount of $1 million. It seems like a crazy number for some, and for others, you're like, we could get there. But I'm going to tell you some tricks today to show you how to get to those tax-free millionaire numbers. So now that we know what a tax-free millionaire is, let's talk about what account structure you need to get to that level. And is a tax-free millionaire the best option? We'll discuss that towards the end of the video. But right now, let's talk about what we need to do to get to a tax-free millionaire. So first and foremost, if you have not taken this step, you absolutely should open a Roth IRA. Now, a Roth IRA is an account structure that is just an account. You still need to invest money into that account for your money to grow until you reach that millionaire status. But the Roth account or the Roth IRA is a really important stepping stone in getting to that tax-free millionaire status. In 2024, you can put in $6,500 individually into a Roth IRA. Now, if you're married and say your spouse also has the option to put money into a Roth IRA, now you can put $13,000 between both of your IRAs together in this account. Now, this is a pretty sizable amount of money. $13,000 will get you to a millionaire status very, very quickly, especially if you have enough time for compounding interest to just, grow. But it's important that you understand that the Roth IRA has some limitations. So look at your income limitations. There's different income limitations depending on whether you have a retirement account through your work, if you're married filing separately, single, married filing jointly, all these different income levels that you really need to look at. I'm not going to go through them on here. I would encourage you just to look them up and Google them. It's probably going to be the first link. But Roth IRA limits, you'll find what you're looking for. Okay, so now let's talk about what we need to do to optimize that and if the Roth IRA is the best option. So the Roth IRA has a pretty sizable chunk of change you can throw into it. And you get to grow tax-free. So you don't pay any income taxes on the money that you're paying in. It's important that you understand that just because there is no taxes you pay as your money grows in a Roth IRA, if you pull out early, you still get penalized with a 10% penalty. Now, there's ways to somewhat get around that, and Roth IRAs have a special provision. It's a break glass provision. Something happens, you lose your job, you always have access to the basis in your Roth IRA. So if you put in $10,000 into your $1 million Roth IRA, which by the way is probably not ever going to happen, you probably put a lot more in. But say you put $10,000 in. $10,000 is your basis. You can always access that money at any time, regardless of penalties or anything. There's no penalties with it. You just pull it out. Okay. So I always encourage people to keep track of your basis in your Roth, just so you always know what it is. And you can always, if you work through Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard, you can just say, hey, I need a basis calculation, and they will get it to you within a certain amount of time. Now, what other vehicles are there? You have the best closet 401k / amazing account that I recommend if you have a high deductible medical plan, you take advantage of. Now, high deductible medical plan, look at the high deductible limits on Google, but these plan numbers, or this plan offers the availability for a HSA. And what that is a health savings account. So a health savings account is like what it sounds like, a savings account for medical expenses that come up throughout the year. Now, the reason that this account exists is because high deductible medical plans, typically you pay, say it's a $4,000, $5,000 deductible on your health insurance. And The government said, hey, we're going to give these people an option to put some money into the savings accounts, get a tax deduction on it. So you get an upfront tax deduction, and then they can pull that money out as they pay medical expenses, typically going against their deductible. Okay? It's important to know that just because you can pull out the money in your HSA whenever you have medical expenses doesn't mean you should. So let's talk about some really quirky things with the HSA that maybe wasn't initially planned, but now has become so prominent that only 1% of people use it. I'm telling you a secret. So the health savings accounts, first and foremost, you get a tax deduction on the front end. If you have medical insurance sponsored by your employer, you can get an HSA sponsored through them as well, you can get a deduction on your Social Security and Medicare taxes that you pay in for that HSA account. So you don't have to pay your Social Security and Medicare taxes on whatever the HSA contributions you're putting in are. Pretty fantastic. That's immediate 7.65% savings plus your income tax rate. Now let's talk about if you are the employer. If you're the employer, if you're the entrepreneur that started the business and you have a high deductible medical plan and you offer it to everybody, including your employees, and run your HSA through your business, then you can also get a triple tax deduction, which means that you can actually get another 7.65% deduction on your taxes because you as the employer also don't have to pay Social Security and Medicare taxes. So it's triple tax advantage. That's amazing. You don't ever see those kind of numbers. But I'm going to tell you something that's even better about the HSA. Ready? The HSA is actually quadruple tax advantaged. You can take your money in your HSA account and you can invest that money into stocks, bonds. You have an investment idea, you run through Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard, you can invest your money in anything in the equity and bond market. It's an incredible place to be. Having that kind of availability for your HSA is incredible. And only about 3% of US residents use an HSA investment. Only 3% of US residents that have the availability for an HSA/have an HSA use it as an investment vehicle. You absolutely should be using this thing as an investment vehicle because it's tax deferred growth. So you never, ever, ever pay taxes until you pull the money out. However, if you use a qualified medical expenses to use the HSA funds, which you will as you approach retirement, you get older and older and older, your medical expenses skyrocket through the ceiling. So you will have enough medical expenses to completely wipe out the HSA totally tax-free, which means you pay no taxes on it, and it just grows. And say, for example, you don't have enough medical expenses. Well, then it just becomes a 401k account or an IRA. It's tax deferred, you pay taxes when you pull the money out. It's really incredible how the HSA is structured. Now, of course, there is some income limits on it as well. And if you're married, there's different income limits than if it's just you with the HSA eligibility. So double check that, look on Google, figure out what you need to do to get the best out of that HSA. But it's important to understand that HSA is quadruple tax advantaged. It is unheard of to think that you could get 4 different tax advantage structures within one account by making one decision. The HSA is incredible for people with high deductible medical plans. I do want to make some clarifying points. Just because your employer offers a high deductible medical plan and you have HSA availability, do not just take it. Say, oh, I love the idea of the HSA, I'm just going to take it. This is an option for planning. So if you know that you're going to have a child, that you and your wife are working to have a child, and going into this next year, it's likely that you're going to have to go through the hospital to get everything taken care of with the baby. It's important to understand that the HSA, while an amazing tax advantage it is, forking out big money, probably $5,000 plus for childbirth, is just a ton of money, especially for the general populace. So if they offer a Cadillac plan, take advantage, switch over to that Cadillac plan for the year, and then when everything's said and done, then you can switch back to your HSA. Okay? So it's really important you understand that if you have a high deductible medical plan, and that includes through Obamacare or through other your employer, then you can open an HSA. If it's through your employer, you get additional tax advantages, and if you're the employer, you get all the tax advantages. Okay? So just be aware that HSA is an incredible tool. What other avenues are there for you to become a tax-free millionaire? You have your Roth 401k. So 401ks, I love them. They get a lot of hate online, but 401ks have some really unique tax advantages. So first and foremost, your employer match. My company offers a 4% match to all of my employees. It's within safe harbor, but I put that money into their traditional or after-tax 401k. Pre-tax 401k. But my employees, most of the time, they'll take advantage of putting their 4% that they're contributing into their Roth 401k, because the Roth 401k is an incredible tool to reach that tax-free millionaire status. And the income levels here, you're not going to pay that 32% tax bracket, because West Virginia's, or the income tax in West Virginia is only about 6.12%. So pretty low state taxes. Fairly speaking, everybody I have is married, so they have some pretty high tax brackets before they start getting to that 30% level. But it's important to understand that the Roth 401k, doing the 4% contribution, I put that 4% into the traditional 401k. That is the advantage of a 401k. The employer does some form of match, profit sharing, something that goes into that 401k to benefit you just by existing, just by putting some money away for your retirement. I have it set to where it increases 1% every single year. Now, employees can obviously say, hey, I don't want to increase it 1%. I'm not interested in doing that. That's fine. They need to tell me. But I have it set that everybody gets a 1% contribution increase every single year until they get to 15% or until they max out their 401ks, which is something that is highly, highly encouraged at my firm. I want to make sure that everybody retires here multimillionaires. And the only way to do that is to encourage investing every single day that they walk in this office. But the 403Bs have similar things. It's pretty much just the 401k, but without the limits on, I say pretty much 401k. There's some nuance to that. I say that tongue in cheek, but there is some nuance to that, but they're pretty similar, and they have some more advantageous tax advantages when you approach retirement, because they don't have that 55-year age limit for withdrawals. So that kind of went over some of the tax-free vehicles. I do want to say that if you're new to the show and you like the content so far, like, subscribe, follow, hit the bell icon. I do this for fun, but I also do it for information, because I want to make sure that everybody who comes to this show comes out knowing just a little bit more on how to reach financial independence. And this videos, and then probably the next few videos, really aren't structured in a way where I have some kind of script. I just get in front of a camera and I talk, and I think about things that I think would really help people get to that financial independence. In the future, we'll definitely delve into more scripts. But right now, I think it's really important just to get my thoughts out there, even though I may sound like a blabbering buffoon at different times. But it's important that we take advantage of what's available to us to reach financial independence. And just having a basic information that I give you on the video, if you're watching on YouTube, or the podcast, if you're listening to whatever your favorite podcasting platform is something that will change your life forever. Just a little bit of knowledge goes a really long way, especially if you want to become a tax-free millionaire. Hey there, guys. Thanks so much for watching the video or listening to the show. I want to make some clarifying points. First and foremost, I am a professional, and I do have a legal obligation to make sure that you get information and use it the best way possible. However, this show is just for general information purposes. Everything that you have going on in your finances, everything you have going on in your life is so specialized. Do not take the information that I provide in my videos as investment advice. Talk to a financial advisor, speak to an accountant so that you know what's going on with your taxes and your retirement. Everything I say in this video is for informational purposes only.